So are us ENFPs destined to earn less money than other people? Do we just have some inbuilt issue with money? Is there a reason some ENFPs complain about being broke or financially strapped? Yeah, there is. But the reason is actually much less depressing than you would think, and I'm going to explain that here in this video. Now, the first thing you have to think about is, what's the point of earning money? Now, I know if you live in the United States, the point of earning money is so you can compare yourself to other people and feel better than them based on how much money you earn and how much money they earn. Or if you earn less than other people, then you spout out various political slogans so you feel more important and valuable. But before that was a thing, money was earned to do things, to have things, and to be things. You might want to be fluent in Spanish, so you pay for Spanish lessons. You might want to be secure, so you buy property or make investments. You might want to feel special or important. You might want to have a nice car or a matcha latte or whatever that is, right? Now, the thing that's very important to understand is money in itself and the things we can buy with it don't give a linear equal experience. A great example of this that I talk about in my book is a bottle of wine. Now, do you get a significantly better experience having a $100 bottle of wine sitting around a campfire with friends or a $20 bottle of wine? I would guess that if you had to choose between 5 nights out having a $20 bottle of wine with your friends or one night out with a $100 bottle, most of us, all of us, would pick the 5 nights, right? Like, yeah, the $100 bottle of wine will be a bit better, but so much better. Really, you just want to get a little drunk around a fire and talk to your friends, right? That's the point of it. At least if you're an ENFP. For other people, maybe there's a little more need, a little ego, any number of reasons why they would want that $100 bottle and be willing to sacrifice and work more for it. See, with income, there are diminishing returns. There's a certain level that when you get to that, it does increase your happiness. And this has been studied before. So if you're struggling, you can't pay for what you want to eat all the time, you're worried about bills, that is not a good place to be. But then there's a place you get to where you can eat out if you want to, you're not totally worried about bills, you're not stressed about money. That raises your happiness getting there. After that, it tends not to raise happiness. So why do you keep earning? Now, ENFPs, we are why people. We like to ask questions and we love to enjoy life. I joke, but it's not a joke, with friends that I have I have 10 kids somehow. I don't know how this would happen, really, but let's just say all of a sudden I had a family with 10 kids. I have a different business plan where I could be 50% less happy, but earn 5 times more money. Could do it pretty much like that. I know what it would be. I would not enjoy it. I would not be happy with it, but I could do it. But why would I? I have enough money to do what I want, to eat out when I want, to travel, etc. I feel financially fine. So why would I why would I sacrifice my enjoyment of life just for the sake of more money? That is not necessarily a normal attitude, at least in North America, in my experience, and in a lot of places in the world as well. So I don't think I'm alone in this, whether it's conscious or unconscious as an ENFP, to look at, well, what actually makes me happy? What do I enjoy? What's most important to me? The things that tend to drive people to do work they do not like and to sacrifice to earn more money than they need tend to be a desire for significance. They want to feel special. They want to feel important, feeding the ego. Now, don't get me wrong, we all have a desire to feel significant and special. So it's not a toxic or terrible thing to have that. I would argue it's not the best thing when that dominates your life. Like, that's what you live for, right? I just had a flash in my head of 2 influencers having sex and just both looking at their selfie phones or their phones in selfie mode, filming it and admiring themselves and ignoring the other person. That's what happens if significance goes too far. The other reason people work hard in things they don't enjoy or earn more money than they need is a feeling of security. They need to feel certain and secure. Now, we all have this need to some extent, but there are certain people, I've noticed this with ENTJs I know. One ENTJ I knew in university said to me, he said, when I try and close my eyes at night, I feel like there's a dragon chasing me. And if I don't keep moving forward, it's going to catch me. And I think that sums up my analysis of most ENTJs I've met, where they have this drive, especially the high achiever ones. Like maybe something happened, sometimes it does tie in with trauma, losses, and they have this drive to feel secure that doesn't go away. It's never full. There's no number, there's no, I've reached here, now it will be totally chill. It's just that need. And so those two things drive a huge amount of the economy. You're not going to get someone to skip their kid's birthday to work late on a Saturday unless they're driven by fear, anxiety, or ego. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in that statement. Challenge me on that statement if you can find another reason. But I would say those cover it. So if you actually get a lot of joy from life, from connection, from experiences, say you're the kind of person that can go out with a $10 bottle of wine, walk around the city with your partner and have an amazing day. Well, are you going to work 80-hour weeks doing things you don't like to then earn more money just for the sake of having that more money when you're already pretty happy? Something to think about. So that's my positive spin on it, which is basically that we get a lot of joy from other things, and we tend to prioritize things like new experiences and human connection more than ego, significance, security, etc. So we tend to focus on doing things we like and maybe not working as crazy of hours. There's also some other reasons for it. One reason is if you, as an ENFP, we are a P-type, which is less structured, more creative, more open-minded. And that tends to mean that you're not as good at looking into the future with detailed, rigid plans, saving the most amount of money you can, running a proper retirement fund, all this sort of stuff. So there's an aspect of that certainly impacts our financial management and probably leads ENFPs to make poor investment choices or not investment choices at all. I remember I met this ENTJ in Spain for a date. She was from Canada, but European heritage. And I was like, oh, you're an ENTJ. Okay, so you're not the biggest risk taker and whatever. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm totally a risk taker. And in Canada, we have something called the RRSPs, which is like the 401k in the US, which is basically a certain amount of money you can invest every year. That's like a tax deduction. And I just said to her, have you ever not maxed out your RRSPs? And she said, no, I've maxed them out every single year. So the risk, ENTJ takes is to max out their retirement fund and then travel 2 weeks a year to places that don't speak English, right? The risk an ENFP takes is to borrow money on their credit card, fly halfway around the world to a developing country and try and start a business on a Tuesday because they saw a TV show about it on Monday and it seemed like a really cool thing to do, right? The other thing is our economy can shift in terms of what types of professions it values. And there's times when TJ types tend to do better in the economy. And I would say that the economy as a thing is a very TJ energy. Large corporations, like the way it is now, dominated by huge companies that are based on structure and micro, breaking jobs into the smallest parts and all that. That is very, very much a TJ type of economy and TJ types of jobs. So they're going to tend to favor TJ types, and ENFPs probably do better in economies that favor more creativity, risk-taking, human connection, small business, etc. So overall, when you're looking at averages, that's going to play into it as well. The last thing I will add to this could be a 2-hour conversation here, but honestly, I can tell my brain is not even fully awake. I needed a little more green tea before starting here, so I won't go for too long, is the start and stop struggle that happens with many ENFPs. And this is something I write a lot about in the ENFP calling book, which, oh, how convenient, it's just sitting there. Wow, marketing. Is often we are torn because we have a parent or parents who pressure us to go in a certain direction. We just don't know who the heck we are when we're young. We might have a partner who's pressuring us to stick in a certain type of job that's really not for us. It can be any number of things. But what happens is our soul is like, hey, I deep down know what I really want to do, and it's this really cool thing that I love doing. But then the outside world is like, hey, you should be miserable, so don't do what you love. And then we're like, cool, I'll do the shitty thing for a while so people love me. And then we do the shitty thing for a while, and then our soul is like, I'm gonna die, dude. Please let me not do this. And then we like quit or get fired or, something. We go on a yoga retreat and forget to tell the office about it. And then we're like, okay, cool. Now we don't have a job, but we're less miserable. So then we do that for a while and maybe contact someone like me and be like, hey, could you help me figure out how to actually do the dream thing I wanted to do? And then sometimes you actually hire me and then we make it happen. And then you live some cool life. And other times you get scared and you say, oh, I don't know if I could really do it. Because sometimes it's not just the external pressure that's keeping you from following your dreams. It's also the whole internal pressure. Or maybe it's an internalized version of your parents telling you you're not good enough or you can't do it or, that's too risky or stupid or, whatever. So you manage to quit the job, but you just spend 6 months or a year kind of doing nothing, thinking you're going to pursue your dream. And then eventually you're like, oh, I'm running out of money again. I'm going to go get another job. And then you go do that. I'm sure HR departments at large companies have a ENFP checklist where they're like, this person will work for 18 to 36 months before they get totally depressed and quit. And then they'll circle back in a year and come back here. So that cycle, depressing as it is also going to contribute, obviously, to lower income because the person who keeps following this cycle, they are not going to go off and do the thing they're meant to do, where they have the potential to earn a lot of money because they're doing their own thing and they're following their passion and using their strengths and their talents. And that's when you can actually excel in life. They're not doing that. They're doing the corporate grind, but they're not doing the corporate grind well. They're doing it like, hey, I'm going to work for a year and a half and then take a year off and then a year and a half and then 6 months off and then 2 years. And because of that, if you were to average out their income, there's these huge gaps. And guess what? If 1 year you earn a lot of money and the next year you earn no money, that doesn't average out to a lot of money. The other part is you're probably not climbing that corporate ladder nearly as quick when they're like, yeah, this one quits every couple of years because their soul is trying to, jump off a bridge. So let's make sure we don't put them in any, too important of positions where they're not replaceable, which also means probably the corporate jobs you get are even less enjoyable because they will only give you the jobs that are so structured that they can replace you easily when you run off to that yoga retreat in Bali for 3 months and forget to tell them about it. So that might contribute as well. My name is Dan. I'm the author of the ENFP Calling, which you can get on audiobook or print or digital or whatever. It's pretty good. If you look at the reviews, people are like, it's pretty good. And I do private coaching. At the moment, I'm not actually sure if I have room for new clients. But contact me there. It's dreamsaroundtheworld.com/coaching. And most important, I have an event coming up in Mexico, which might have surfing like that, but not actually surfing. I'm not that cool. From February 1st to 8th, we're getting a luxury villa in Puerto Vallarta, and it's called ENFPFEST. You can go to ENFPEvents.com. As of this recording, there's one ticket left that has accommodation in the villa. I think there's either 1 or 0 as of this recording. And there's a few other tickets as well where you would get your own accommodation. So if you are interested in that, go to ENFPEvents.com and fill out the form, or you can write me on WhatsApp there and we can see if it's a good fit for you. And if it is, you'll come to Mexico. All right then, this was fun. Good way to start the day. See you in the next video soon.